to you, ma'am. I am CMTB Abjelina from BSHM 3A, and I am here to present to you my report about the Chapter 1. In this video, you will be able to learn the different kinds of laws relevant to tourism, travel, and hospitality industry, to explain the concepts of tourism law, to enumerate the importance and sources of tourism law, and to give the applications of tourism law. In this slide, as we can see, it is the definition of law. So what is law? As it is stated in our references, law is the science of moral laws founded on the rational nature of man that governs his free activity for the realization of the individual and social ends of life under an aspect of mutual conditional dependence. So, in specific and concrete sense, it is defined as a rule of conduct, just and obligatory, and promulgated by legitimate authority and of common observance and benefits. So, when we talk about law, it is one of the body of official rules and regulations, so normally found in the constitutions and legislations of a country, and are used to govern and control the behavior of the members of a group of or the people of the civil society. So therefore, laws are a formal mechanism of social control. So on the next slide, we have here our kinds of law as to purposes. So first, we have here a substantive law. So it is a law which creates or which regulates the rights and duties which give rise to cause of action. So for example of substantive law is the contract principle, or what we call that the caveat emptor. So it is the notion that the responsibility of checking the quality or the suitability of the goods before they purchase falls on the buyer and solely on the buyer. So mura na siya kuan kanang accusations of the individual that is responsible in that situation. So the second one is the adjunctive law. So it is a law which provides the method of aiding and protecting certain rights. So the portion of the body law prescribing the manner or procedure by which rights may be enforced or the violators may be redressed. So in the next slide, we have here our as to scope kinds of law. So first, we have here our general or public law. So when we talk about general or public, so when it comes to our mind na it is for all the people in the civil society. So it is a law which applies to all of the people of the state or to all of a particular class of persons in the state. It is the equal force and obligations. So we have here the three examples, which is the criminal law. It is a law dealing with crimes under punishment as well as the procedure for that purpose. The international law, the body of rules or principles of action governing the relations between the states. And the last one we have here, the political law, which is the law regulating the relations sustained by the inhabitants of a territory to the sovereign. So in the next slide, we have here the second one, the special or private law. So it is a law which relates to particular persons or things of a class. It is the issues that are specific to individuals, such as a contract negotiations or the property disputes. So here are the three major examples of special or private law. First, we have here a civil law. So the mass of precepts which determines and regulates those relations of assistance, authority, and obedience existing among members of a family and those which exist among members of a society for the protection of private interests. The second one we have here are maritime law. It is a law dealing with commerce by sea involving regulations of ships and harbors and the status of seamen. So in the last one we have here the mercantile law. It is the law of commercial transactions derived from the law of merchants, which includes the commercial paper, insurance, and other types of agency. Mo ni siya ang law in kanang something business mo ni kwaon nimo or kanang when you are in kanang nanarbaho nga na. So in the next slide, we have here the concept of tourism law. So tourism is defined as the custom or practice of traveling for pleasure, as well as the promotion by establishments of countries to attract tourists. So tourism law may be defined as a body of rules or principles of action which deals with the regulation, authority, and relations and obedience among members of society involved in tourist travel and accommodations. So it includes persons traveling from place to place for pleasure, and business establishments or persons engaged in occupation of providing various services for tourists. So when we talk about law and tourism, it is a social, cultural, and economic phenomenon which entails the movement of the people, not just in the country but also outside of the environment. So on the next slide, we have here a sources of law relevant to tourism, travel, and hospitality industry. First, we have here Philippine Constitution. So it is the fundamental law of the land to which all other law must conform. So in short, it is the fundamental law of the Philippines. It establishes um, it establishes rules and duties of the Philippines government, and diyan na to makita ang katong the Bill of Rights. So in addition, numerous regulations are being imposed by the different government agencies in order to promote the tourism development for national interest. So hence, there is a need to study the different principles and statutes of governing tourism development. So on the next slide, we have here a sources of law relevant to tourism, travel, and hospitality industry. First, we have here Philippine Constitution. So it is the fundamental law of the land to which all other law must conform. So in short, it is the fundamental law of the Philippines. It establishes it establishes rules and duties of the Philippines government, and diyan na to makita ang katong the Bill of Rights. Second one, we have here the statutes of legislative enactments. So it is written will of the legislative department rendered authentic by certain prescribed rumors and solemnities prescribing rules of actions or civil conduct with respect to persons, things, or both. So for example is the Dangerous Drugs Act, the Public Service Act, the Civil Code of the Philippines, the Labor Code of the Philippines, and the revised Penal Code, the Seatbelt Law, and the local government ordinances. So the third one, we have here a administrative or executive orders, regulations, and rulings. So these are issued by administrative officials under legislative authority. So for examples, rules and regulations promulgated by the Secretary of Tourism to govern the accreditations of hotels, tourist inns, motels, apartels, resorts, pension house, and other accommodation establishments. So second example is the BIR circulars and rulings, and also the administrative issuance by the Department of Foreign Affairs. And the last example, we have here the omnibus rules implementing the labor code of the Philippines. So the fourth one, we have here the judicial decisions or the jurisprudence. So this refers to the decisions of the Supreme Court in interpreting the laws or the constitutions. So on the next slide, we have here the customs. So it is a rule of conduct in which given place and among given groups of people has been followed for an approachable or appreciable time. So the last one, we have here the other sources. So this refers to the decisions of foreign tribunals and opinions of textbooks writers. So in the last slide, we have here the Bill of Rights. So before we proceed, what is the Bill of Rights? So the Bill of Rights is a declaration and enumeration of a person's right and privilege which the Constitution is designed to protect against violations by the government or by individual. So or by groups. So it is a charter of liberties for the individual and a limitation upon the power of the state. So with the Bill of Rights, we have here the Section 1, which is the no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, and property without due process of law, nor shall any person be denied the equal protection of the laws. So, in short, it is the right to life, liberty, and property. So, first we discuss nganong connected ang Bill of Rights sa law. So, under the Constitution, the term life, of which a person may not be deprived without a due process, so means more than animal existence. So, with the emphasis of social and economic rights to present, life includes at the very least the right to a decent living. So, ari na punta sa liberty. So, according to the references, which is Justin Malcolm, liberty means the measure of freedom which may be enjoyed in a civilized community, consistently with peaceful enjoyment of life, freedom, and the others. So this liberty includes the right to be free and to use his faculties in lawful ways, the right to live and work where he wills, and to earn his livelihood by any lawful calling, to pursue any vocation, and for that purpose to enter into all contracts which may be proper, necessary, and essential to his carrying out these purposes to a successful conclusion. So, in short, liberty is a freedom to do right and never wrong. It is guided by reason and upright and honorable conscience of the individual. So the last one we have here the property, and property is defined as anything which is or may be the object of appropriation. So anything which has money value and which is supposed to be within the commerce of a man is embraced in the term property. So it is the right to earn one's daily wage and the right to engage in business are likewise property. So I guess that could be all, ma'am. Again, I am Cindy B. Abjelina, and thank you.